Greetings, friends. Welcome to CTUCC ConferenceCast for April 11th, 2013, the regular podcast of the Connecticut Conference of the United Church of Christ. Whoever you are, and wherever you may be on life's journey at this very moment, you are welcome here. We begin this week's ConferenceCast with this meditation from the Reverend Dr. Mike Penn-Strah, South Central Regional Minister. In the 21st chapter of John's Gospel, the disciples meet the risen Jesus again by the Sea of Galilee. Jesus makes them breakfast and, in an exchange with Peter, tells him that if he loves him, to feed his sheep. But then he goes on to say that when Peter was young, he went where he wanted to go. But when he gets old, someone else will take him where he doesn't wish to go.
Jesus' words to Peter took on a very different meaning for me recently. Jesus, who chose to be vulnerable in order that God's life-renewing, transforming power might be revealed through his weakness, reminds Peter that we may not choose when and how to be weak and vulnerable. That is my recent experience. In mid-February, I slipped on an icy porch step, fell to the sidewalk, and severed the tendon connecting the large quadriceps muscle to the kneecap in my left leg. 2 days later, it was surgically repaired, and my leg was encased in a stiff, straight brace, which made it difficult to sit in a chair without a leg support and impossible to get into and drive my car. For the next 6 weeks, I rarely left my house, working from a bedroom office with my computer and cell phone, meeting individuals and committees via Skype or FaceTime or phone. I confess, I don't handle vulnerability, weakness, or even inactivity at all well. I dislike being unable to go and do what I want to go and do when I want to do it. And I hate people fussing over me or even making allowances for me. But that's exactly what happened again and again. In the midst of my grousing, I received dozens of cards and emails filled with well wishes and prayers from friends and colleagues, making allowances for my absences and urging me to be patient, take it easy, and focus on healing. When I least expected it, and barely attempted to perceive it, I received blessing upon blessing, the blessing of God's love touching my life through the love of my friends and family. In the midst of weakness, I discovered and rested in God's strength. As healing continues and I begin to resume the pace of normal activity, I pray that I may hold on to those blessings.
Here is a prayer for this week.
Holy One, in the midst of afflictions, large or small, help us to remember that you are the source of our greatest strength. Help us to live out of that strength in all that we do. Amen.
In the news this week,
a very happy and blessed anniversary, Dongbu Sun-lin Church. We send you our love, we send you our blessings, we send our good wishes.
the Reverend Ann Aubrich's church, the Mystic Congregational Church UCC, was founded in 1852, and the greetings she's extending here are to a much younger congregation. The Dongbu Sun-lin Church, their partners in South Korea, who celebrate 45 years of ministry in 2013. In addition to Reverend Aubrich, other members of the Mystic Church added their blessings to a video greeting prepared by Emmy Walrath and made available via the internet. The celebration comes at a time of heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula, and also as the conference's ecumenical partners of the Kyungi Presbytery gather for their annual meeting in just under 2 weeks. The Connecticut Conference will send 2 delegates to the Presbytery meeting, Irene Choi, a member of the Korean Partnership Committee, and the Reverend Eric Anderson, Minister of Communications and Technology. We ask your prayers for them and for our partners who have lived with a great deal of uncertainty in that small land for 60 years. In last week's ConferenceCast, we covered the signing of Connecticut's Gun Violence Prevention Act. This week, Newtown Congregational Church UCC pastor, the Reverend Matt Crebbin, reminds us that new federal laws are needed as well. Gun trafficking, he says, does not recognize state or city boundaries. Beyond new legislation, he sees much work ahead to reduce all violence and to promote peace. Laws, while necessary, will never be enough. For more on all these stories, and to see the Mystic Church's greetings to Dongbu Sun-lin in full, visit us at ctucc.org/news. The Connecticut Conference has issued a call to a special meeting of ministers and delegates to be held at 3 p.m. on Saturday, April 20th, to consider the recommendation of the Reverend Kent J. Salati to be the next conference minister. Visit ctucc.org/annual meeting for more information and to register. Please note, pre-registration closes on Tuesday, April 16th. Walk-in registrants are more than welcome.
As the sun finally shines a little longer this spring, imagine your bare feet greeting the warm sand between your toes.
Imagine the fireflies sparkling along the tree line above the campfire.
Hear the singing floating over the hill from the Waterfall Chapel.
Revel in the delight of discovering a new best friend in the bunk above you.
In your imagination, you're at Silver Lake already for a week-long outdoor ministry experience that changes lives and makes friend-making easy.
Greet God in God's backyard at Silver Lake this summer. Learn more and register at www.silverlakect.org.
God is working through all the people who fill our lives with hope and care and grace.
There's still room to register, but hurry, we're filling up.
We look forward to welcoming you to Silver Lake, your conference center.
Watching the firefly.
Give your child or the children in your congregation a life-enriching experience. Make sure they have an opportunity to spend a week at Silver Lake. Register now at silverlakect.org. A National UCC Conference on Environmental Justice with a Train-the-Trainer format will be held at Silver Lake Conference Center this weekend. The conference historians workshop will be in Avon on Saturday. Journey to the Water's Edge, a day of reflecting, responding, and healing the traumas in our ministries will be held in Madison next Tuesday. The Women's Spirit and Yoga Retreat at Silver Lake is the weekend of April 19th. Give Squared will have a Green Action Day in Hartford on April 20th. And there is a Riverfront Earth Day opportunity in Hartford on the 21st. Registration is open for all these events as well. And of course, the special meeting of the conference is April 20th in New Britain. The last weekend of April is a busy one. Silver Lake holds its Spring Action Weekend beginning on Friday the 26th. On the 27th, you can attend the CT Women of the UCC annual meeting, or hear Mary Luty speak about worship in Southington, or attend the Climate Revival Day in Boston. Coming up in May, training to assist children in a disaster situation is available May 3rd and 4th. Authorized Minister Boundary Training is on Saturday the 4th in South Glastonbury. Silver Lake holds an Adult Work Day on the 4th, and their open house is Sunday the 5th. The New England Association of United Church Educators holds their annual event, Vibrant Colors of Faith, on Cape Cod, May 7th through the 9th. Make sure you register for that soon. And this year's Youth Revival will be celebrated at United Congregational in Bridgeport on May 10th. And there's even more coming up in May, so be sure to visit us and learn more about it at ctucc.org/events. And that brings this ConferenceCast to a close. Thanks to Mike Penn-Strah for his reflection and to GarageBand for our music. Primary funding for ConferenceCast comes from your congregation's gifts to our church's wider mission basic support, changing lives through the United Church of Christ. This is Eric Anderson, the Minister of Communications and Technology for the Connecticut Conference of the United Church of Christ, praying that your days this week may be filled with the presence, the guidance, and the grace of God. This is Eric Anderson again with a program note. As you may have heard earlier in the podcast, I will be traveling to South Korea. My travel dates are on Thursdays on ConferenceCast production and release days. So clearly that is not going to happen on schedule. What I plan to do instead is to do some fairly brief snippets as I'm able while I'm there in Korea to let you know what my days have been like, what I've been learning, and what I have to share of the faith of those amazing people while I'm visiting. So look for some special editions of ConferenceCast, but a full edition of ConferenceCast will not occur until I'm back from South Korea. Irene and I will appreciate your prayers while we're traveling, while we're visiting, and while we're coming home. God bless you all.